What's up, guys? It is Ryan here, and I wanted to talk very quickly about the difference between charge cards and credit cards, and not only the difference between the two different cards, but when and why you should be applying for certain cards. Let me quickly talk about what charge cards are first. Charge cards are typically only American Express cards. The American Express Green, the American Express Gold, and the American Express Platinum cards. You see them everywhere. You see people like to play with them. They like to show them off because a lot of times these two are metal cards. The point is this, guys, they are charge cards, which are very different from traditional credit cards. Why? Charge cards have no preset spending limit. Now, why is that important for you? When you're looking at your credit report, you're going to see credit cards. Credit cards typically are going to have what's called a spending limit or a credit limit, okay? A charge card is only going to have a spending limit, but that's going to be internal with American Express. It's never going to show. Now, American Express does have credit cards. The credit cards will be the Blue Cash or the Blue Cash Preferred, the Everyday or the Everyday Preferred, or even cards like their Bonvoy cards, their Lowe's American Express card, or even like the Delta card that's an American Express card. These are all regular credit cards. Now, they will start off with incremental limits. So you may start off with a $3,000 limit with one of these cards. And then as you use the card over the time, it will grow to a $5,000 or a $10,000 or even $20,000 limit like some of my cards are. With a charge card, it's never going to show that credit limit. So when you run your credit, or if you're trying to influence your credit utilization, you cannot do that by charge cards alone. You need the charge cards after you've established a decent number of regular credit cards. Now, I do recommend that if you get an everyday preferred card or even an everyday card, it's good to partner that up with the American Express Gold card because of the points. The Gold card is great for dining and for groceries. This card is good for for groceries, for gas stations, and everyday purchases. It's a better way to maximize your value or maximizing your spending. You also have other credit cards, which would be any other Chase card, Barclays card, Discover, Citibank card, or Bank of America cards. They're traditionally going to fall under a Visa or a MasterCard. Now, Discover is different. It doesn't fall under that. It's kind of its own banking system, which is not Visa. It is not MasterCard. It is also not American Express. But that's one of the biggest things, guys. When you're trying to build and establish credit, remember, charge cards don't show limit. That limit doesn't help to influence your utilization factor. So you could have 2 charge cards or 3 charge cards, and it's not going to show a credit limit. So when you look at credit card utilization and it tells you your total overall limit, you're not going to have them. You're not going to have much at all unless you have a couple regular credit cards. So it's really important in the beginning when you're trying to build and establish credit, you want to go after credit cards first. Now, because of the 5 and 24 rule that Chase has, a lot of people will recommend that you go after Chase cards first. Get 2 or 3 cards, the Chase Freedom, the Freedom Unlimited, the Freedom Flex, which is new. These are cards that are good to start with, but the problem is in the very, very beginning, you're not going to qualify for these unless you have high 600 at least credit scores, maybe even 700 or low 700s, depending on the rest of your credit file. Okay, you may have to start off with a Discover It, secured credit card, or maybe even have to go to an Open Sky, which is a subsidiary of Capital One. There's a lot of different things you want to look at. There's a lot of different things to know and understand. The one thing you absolutely do not want to do is this. In the beginning, no matter what, you do not want to just randomly start applying for the shiniest card that you see. Okay? Just because they say, hey, you may be approved for the Gold card, or you may be approved for that shiny, beautiful Platinum card, you may not. And in fact, in most cases, you won't unless you have some credit history established. So it's really important to make sure you're taking a look at your credit factors, understanding where your credit score lies, but also understanding what does your credit file look like. Do you have at least 3 or 4 open accounts showing on-time active payment history? If you do, that increases your odds of having a higher credit score and also a higher approval rating for these cards right here. Once you get 2 or 3 of these cards here, that's when you can start looking at pairing them up with the Amex Green, the Amex Gold, or even the Amex Platinum. Again, it's always based on where do you spend your money so that you can maximize the point systems, and then what do you want that money to do for you? What do you want the points or the cash back to do for you? It's always important to know that, guys. Don't get a card just because you like the way it looks. Get a card because it's going to help maximize the value of your everyday spending. And again, never put on credit cards which you can't afford to pay at the end of the month, unless it's some big purchase at 0% financing. You don't want to ever put yourself into debt. Make sure you're always paying off your cards at the end of the week, at the end of the month, whatever the case is, even before the bill is due. That'll help maximize your credit score. It'll keep your utilization low, and you'll never end up paying credit card interest, which is the cancer of your finances. Hope that video was helpful. Hope this information was helpful. If you like it, please share it. It helps me. It helps other people realize the education is out there. Many people just don't know how this works. So please share the message. Reach out to me if you have more questions. Let's help educate everybody so they know how this stuff works better. Have an awesome day.